Okay, I hope this streaming is okay now. Don't know what happened with the last one there. So I've got the Kohiri sword. So let's see, let's push. That was so annoying. Sorry about that. I'm gonna do with this guy here. I think I'm a bit scared to show all the steps and how to do everything, but then I'm also scared to do things too quickly. But at the same time, I don't want to bore anyone, so I've got a little bit of a dilemma on how I do this tutorial sometimes. And then sometimes I forget that I only get like a few viewers, so, yeah, we got this guy here now. I would love to do these little grooves kind of effect, kind of a thing. I'm gonna do the pendant at the front there first. I'm gonna do a little bit of tidying up with the names. So I'm gonna call this base. I'm gonna call this the blade. Then I'm gonna call this the stopper, whatever it's called. I should. There's still a little bit of sword anatomy names. Sword anatomy names. And let's give it some proper names. So we got not the fuller, so this is the killing parts. I'm sure there's some better names out there. Okay, so this is called the guard. Then I'm gonna call the blade the blade. This base is called the pommel. And we got this. This is the grip. Cool. So we got some proper names now. I want to do this part now with a jewel. I think that's going to be nice with this thing here. So let's go in here and let's do that part there. So I'm just going to do transparent. With this, I'm going to do a torus. So I'm just going to go make a torus. Oh, wow, that's almost perfect. Wow, that's lucky. I'm going to go make the radius a little bit bigger. I'm going to go this section here a little bit smaller. And with this part here, I'm going to move this a bit in the front so we can see that out there. Perfect. Because this is still like a semi-blocker kind of a thing, I'm going to do a resolution that's a little bit smaller. So I'm just going to go subdivisions. Yeah, 16, that maybe works. And the next part here, I'm just going to go 8. I'm a huge fan of 8. So that works for me. But now this is the part that if I wanted to add this circular kind of a thing, I ideally would use, so we got 4. I wonder if we can use a plane. Give me a second. If we can use a plane. That is exactly 4 times 4. Let's move that here. And with this plane, and the reason why I'm using 4 times 4 is because this guy here has got 16. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. Okay. So now with this fella here, what did I do with that plane? Cool. So if we circleize this, and then we grab this and we make this a few times out like that. That's kind of cool. Okay. this is now the part that we can use that trick that we did earlier with a circleize, where we grab this here, we go deform, sculpt, and it's not gonna do much unless we move this guy to go upwards a little bit to create a little bit of that circular kind of effect. So let's maybe push this out a bit more. There you go, perfect. And we can do this to be, yeah, sure, let's go soften. By the way, I've never done this before. This is so cool. Sorry, I know that I'm like, oh, I've never done this before. This is such a cool idea. I never thought about that. That's amazing. Let's move that in the front there. Yeah, I need to thank a co-worker from the past that he's not working at AIE anymore. He's cool, but he left us and he used that technique a few times to make things circular, and then he never taught me anything. I just watched his videos, because whenever I would ask him how to do anything, he'd be like, oh, just do it this way. He was scared to give away all these secrets. He was like, no, my secrets. And I was like, but teach me, because if you teach me, then I can teach other students how to do things, right? Yeah, he never taught me how to do anything. He just had a very big fat ego. I'm not gonna say who this is, of course, because that will be very unprofessional. But then, yeah, I just watched his videos and learned through his other students how to do things, and then, you know, just learned how to do his things. So there you go. So now we got this guy's in here. We go bridge. Cool. So now we got that nice thing there. We can smooth all of that part now. We go soften. Oh, it's not softening everything. There you go. And this part here, we can harden. Yeah, look at that. That looks far. That looks so professional. The thing is, that jewel maybe part. Let's flatten that out a little bit. From this area here, just a little bit. It was a little bit too like, it's a little bit like, that's a bit too little, something like that. That looks nice, and that's a little bit too high poly. I would maybe remove every second one there. And oh, I did not do a very good job with that part there. Let's circularize that area a little bit. There you go. That looks a bit neater. Why not? Cool. I'm gonna do this little weird capsule cylinder kind of things here. In order to do those, there is a cylinder type that you can do. I'm just gonna do the cylinder type just to 8 faces. And I also learned this technique through another teacher, which is really cool. There's the thing, there's always new things to learn. I think I learn new things every day. Sometimes I'll be helping another teacher, will be helping another student, and then all of a sudden they tell me, oh, did you know you could do this thing this way? And I'll be like, whoa, what the hell? I had no idea you could do that. Round cap. And then you can add maybe some subdivisions in the cap there. And that's it. You can do this with like 2 spheres, and then you bridge the 2 spheres by separating them, but this works as well. And then you go cap those. And now I'm realizing I could have done this as well with I could have done it this way as well with the jewel, I guess, earlier. Cool. Look at that, baby. But let's pull that out. And now we can push that there, maybe. Okay, and we can make it a little bit bigger. Cool. Yeah, why not? Beautiful. Alright, so next will be to put these things in there. We might do this through the power of baking. So in order to generate those, yeah, we can just use this as a clone. Just gonna clone it. Why not? Just clone it with this. But I'm just gonna go perspective. Sometimes you'll be surprised with copy and pasting stuff. Be surprised how much quicker you can be. You don't need to do everything from scratch. With the baking, one thing that I recommend, in order to give this effect with the baking, you don't need to drill a hole in the wood, because this will be now considered like the high poly kind of stuff. You can also just fake it by expanding it this way, and then let's do another one. And let's do one more to create the surface kind of effect, and then you can push this down inwards like this to create the depth. And then with this guy and this guy here, we can go crease to the maximum level, and it's got a little bit of a flattened effect there, so I can just go, we can make this completely flat and push that in a little bit, crease this guy here as well to the maximum. Shoop. And now if I press 3, you can bake it to look like this after the creasing to create this effect pretty easily. And it looks like it is part of the mesh, but it isn't. If I push that in, you can create the illusion that that's got the same normals. And I just noticed that all this guy here is not perfectly flat. So let's flatten this guy. Why is it? Are you gaslighting me? Oh. Cool, let's make this flat. Wow. Damn. That's really bad. Let's make this flat as well. Zoop. Cool. So let's match those buttons in the front there. Cool. The reason why I'm doing everything in just one side is because in some point I will just do a mirror, right? We'll just mirror everything into one side, and that will be enough. I think I am going to do this top part there. Then this is the time where I'm going to start putting everything as low poly or high poly. I'm going to start deciding, okay, what's going to be low poly, what's going to be high poly. And I'm going to start doing the bake to bake some of the details across. But I'm just going to finish with this pommel part here to make that inwards. And I might block that as well. Just go fill hole. All right, to make sure that nice and quartz. This is the part here. This is a technique that I like to use in order to make things a little bit more relaxed, two vertices. I'm gonna cross this, and like I'm not too happy with what this looks like. So sometimes you can use average to relax those squares a little bit. I'm a little bit happier with what that looks like. No one's gonna see it, so you could perfectly just select those guys and just weld that to the middle, and I think they're gonna use less triangles altogether. And we could also give this a nice bevel so it doesn't look too cringe. Now this has got 1, 2, 3, it's got a few, so this one here could do with some nice topology as well. So I might just go in here. Okay, cool. I want to increase that. I want to do a little bit of this detail here where you've got these little grooves kind of a thing. So I might go in there and give that detail now. So the way I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna select these guys, go in the multicard here, connect, and just go do this with 4 maybe segments. Like that. Go. Gonna go double that. So go 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, perfect. And now every second one, I'm gonna pull those out. Like that. And then I'm gonna go select each second one. And I'm gonna give it a gentle bevel like this. And then let's see what happens if we press 3. There you go. Oh, ho, ho, ho. I love this so much. That's so beautiful. Look at this. It makes me happy. Now, then we got this part here. Look at that. Yes. Yeah. This is so nice. Yeah. Cool. It's already looking better than this, whatever this is. Ew. We can give this a little bit of a bevel around there. So in order to give that bevel, and you see the bevel, that bevel there is a bit chunky. That goes around there. Let's go select this guys here, then this ones, and then this guy. To give a bevel, yes. Gonna select anything. Hopefully this bevel is gonna look okay. I got a feeling that the geometry here is a little bit chunky, so let's go. Oh, why did I select this as well? Maya, I think, is trying to gaslight me sometimes. Oh, there you go. You see? Why is that deselected? Cool. So we go bevel. Yeah, you see? It's something weird is going on there. No, it seems to be fine. I will close this in a little bit just to like clean that a bit more, and then alright, cool. Just to space those a little bit better. And now this is the part I'm gonna do a mirror backwards. And I'm just gonna do this with the bridge. And hopefully it is not weird with... There you go. I don't know what happened there with the topology, but I'm gonna do like a very harsh with this many segments. But as you can see here, this has got like a very harsh cut. And it doesn't have it in the top, I just noticed there. Let's have a look here. Yeah, it's only the sides there. So let's undo that for a second. Let's take this off for a second. And let's try that again. Yeah. And I think that works for me just fine. Yeah, that's looking really good. Here, this part here, I just noticed that we could maybe push these guys a bit more like that. That can work fine. Cool. Let's make this a bit more chunky. Alright, cool. So this part there, this is now where we can add a little bit of a bevel. I don't know how it's gonna work, the bevel with this part here as well. So let's do this part here as well. Like this. Yeah, why not? Cool. This looks a bit silly for some reason. Gonna delete the transforms with that. Yeah, why not? All right, cool. So this is now getting pretty close at getting the modeling done. It's been, if I look at this, it's been now 20 minutes apparently. So that's kind of cool. This is the part now that I'm gonna select everything. I'm gonna delete the history, freeze transforms. I'm gonna start organizing it on what's high poly, low poly. So this guy's here. I'm gonna do a smooth with this many subdivisions. Oh, I was only doing it for the last one. Wait, I'm gonna combine them first. Combine, subdivide, do this many. Cool story, bro. I'm gonna do this in the mirror with in the world. Cool. I'm gonna do it again with the back. So now we got it both ways. Cool. And I'm gonna call this bolts. And I'm gonna call this bolts. It's gonna be part of the guard, so I'm gonna call this, and this is a weird naming convention, so I'm just gonna go guard underscore high underscore, if I remember that's correct, like bolts. Cool. Now with this one here, I'm gonna do, this is a low poly, guard low. But then with this one here, this is going to be the high poly. And for the high poly, I'm just gonna do all this guys here. It's gonna be pretty. Gonna do this with crease to the maximum. And I'm gonna do the same with this guys here. So I'm just gonna go to the edges and also make that with maximum crease. And just for the subdivision to work a little bit better, I'm just gonna connect these two guys in here. Connect. Me cago. There you go. And let's see what happens when I press free. If I smooth this. Ew. Me no likey. Alright, cool. Let's do this with... what? I knew there was something cooking there. Got some bad vertices there, that's why. Oh, so now that's fine now. so annoying. Okay, hopefully this is gonna look good when I subdivide it with 3 now. Almost. Almost. Sometimes I just want to give up. Let's do a mirror with that. Oh, that looks so crazy crisp. Jesus Christ. Cool. So let's do a mirror now on this angle here. And remember, this is the high poly. This is like excessive. So if I go now, smooth this up. Cool. So that's the high poly to make it like super crisp. And I'm gonna have a couple of empty folders. I'm gonna call this high and then low. And I'm kind of doing everything at the same time. So I've got the high poly there. And I've got the got low in here. Okay. So now the low poly and the high poly is going to be like, this is what we're doing as the bake across. With this, we need to make sure that we have disconnected. It's fine because I'm doing such a simple sort, and yet I'm gonna do this with high poly to low poly. And that baking conventions is a little bit excessive, but here we are. So that's the low poly. We go now. These guys need to be also inside of the high poly in here to bake with that. This fella here, we need to mirror that across as well. This needs to be mirrored in the center too. Let's call this jewel. Low. And let's do yeah, let's do a high poly version of this. So let's duplicate it. Move it here as the high. And we're gonna do, yeah, if we press 3 and we smooth that, that's enough. But if I select this and I go crease, that's actually enough. Just pressing, just smooth dividing that. Just maybe, yeah, no, that's enough. We can just go smooth. That can be our high poly to bake it. We might need to mirror this in the back of the world. And this is why it's a good idea always to use everything in the center of the world. So you can just go, all right, so that's the center, set axis, call it a day. Cool. And now we're going to do the same for the high poly, the low poly, I mean. Cool. Now we need to do this piece. This has to be separate. So I'm going to call this, what do I call these? Capsules? I don't know. We don't need this to be like, we don't need this to go all the way around. We just need, that's enough. And this is enough as well for the low poly. Cool. So this is the low poly. I think this is a bit excessive, but But before we do that, I'm gonna just mirror that again here. Both ways. So I'm gonna go mirror. Again, I'm gonna press G to mirror that at the back. So we got, oh man, I should have done the UVs first. It doesn't matter. So now we got both sides there. But then I'm gonna duplicate this to go on the height. And I'm just gonna do a smooth. Cool. So that's our high poly now. Hi, yeah. And everything you have to make sure it's got the same names, right? If it doesn't have the same names with the low poly or the high poly, it's not gonna work with the baking. Now we're gonna do the grip. So let's go grip. This is to me the high poly already, but I need to like just subdivide it. And now let's duplicate that to be the low. For the low, ah man, I don't know what to do for the low because this is a bit poo-poo. Could work with the normal maps, but let's subdivide this just once. Yeah, that's gonna be way better. But let's do a little bit of optimizing with this. So we don't need this many. This is a bit excessive. So if we collapse this, that's a bit better. I'm not too sure if I like the way that's done that. Sure. We do the same here. We collapse these. Collapse. Alright, cool. Way too excessive. Way too excessive. We could flatten this guy's. Whoa. Oh, man. Yeah. Let's go to vertices. Initiate. And we can collapse that to the middle. That's cool. This part here, we can harden that edge. And, well, no one's gonna ever see that, man. Ah, that's so dumb. Let's kill it. Cool. That's enough. That's the thing. It's, yeah, anything that's not gonna change the silhouette, we need to delete it. This is, in my opinion, way too excessive. We need to kill this for sure. Okay. I think as the overall topology, yeah, this is kind of looking nice. We don't see this at all. This part. So we could just like grab this circleize. Oh, damn it. What? So annoying. I'm so trigger happy that I just deleted things by accident. Cool. So we got that there. This is 600 triangles, so that works for me. So this is the low poly, and now this one here is going to be the high poly. So now this one is, we don't care about the polys. We can go crazy. And that's what we're going to subdivide to do the bake, to get some really nice normals. Okay, so that's the high poly. And this guy here is the low poly, which is still pretty high poly for a grip. What would be cool is for the high one here, for these guys to be like really crisp. So I'm just gonna select one of these guys in here. And I'm just gonna harden. It barely does anything. Okay, cool. This one here, let's do next. So let's go the pommel. The low poly of the pommel, I think it's enough. It could be one step higher. So I'm just, let's put that here high. This guy can be the low poly. Let's subdivide this once. And this is going to be so, this is so extra. We don't need this many, this is definite. Even this should be fine. I don't think you can even, yeah. Let's delete every second one here. No, actually, that's nice to keep. Yeah, man, that's a bit excessive, but having some of that curvature would be nice. Cool, let's keep it high, sure. And now for the high poly. Let's go crazy with the smoothing with this one. Okay, cool. I think I left. If we hide this for a second, we just need the blade. And I think the blade, I'm okay as it is for the low poly. Oh, we got some nasty. We don't need this. Nasty angles. I think for this for the low poly is fine as it is. For the low poly, let's go blade underscore low. And let's duplicate this now for the high in here. 0 views. This is great. It says that I'm offline. Let's go back. It says that I'm streaming, right? Oh no, I've got 1 view. Hello there, whoever you are. I'm gonna do... The only thing I'm gonna change with this is if I press 3, what happens? Ew. Don't like that one at all. It doesn't keep the shape at all. So if I do this, so it keeps it, I'm gonna subdivide it, and then I go all around the clock there and just give it a very tiny, very tiny bevel. Like that, maybe. And then maybe I add a... What happens if I do a multi-cut? It doesn't like it at all, does it? No, it doesn't like it at all. Oh! Oh, yeah. That looks beautiful when I smooth that. Heck yeah. Okay. I'm gonna subdivide this now. Smooth, baby. Oh. Smooth. Ew. Let's not look at the topology when we smooth that. Cool. So that's our high. Play high. Let's hide this. And this is our low poly. Yeah. Cool. So now we've done the high poly, low poly kind of stuff. And this is now the whole Kohiri sort, which is actually I can't believe that I put this together in less than an hour. This is both high poly and low poly as well. We've done this in 40 minutes. Now we need to do some UVs, so I'm gonna hide all this high poly stuff, which we're gonna use for the baking later. And this is now, and it's funny because the low poly almost looks as good. And this is less than 4,000. This is 2,962 triangles all up for this Kohiri sword. So let's do some UVs. So UVs, I'm gonna do the, oh man, where are all my buttons in here for this? Oh, here they are, cool. So let's go save layout, perspective UV layout. Let's move this away. I'm gonna do some UVs. So I'm just gonna go create camera based. I'm gonna cut this guy in here. Cut. For this guy, I'm just gonna go create automatic. So now we got this guy there. It's gonna be super nice UVs. Go and fold those guys. Cool. With this, I'm gonna do a cut maybe here. And then I'm gonna unfold this. With this, I'm gonna again unfold it, but I'm gonna cut it in the middle from here to there, maybe, hopefully, yeah. So there's a little bit less information. Cut, unfold, unfold. Maybe I can do a connection from here to there. So then there's a little bit of deformation, but then that middle part there is not too apparent. So okay, so that's the pommel done. Let's do a consistent texture density of it. It is a prop, so let's do 512 on a 2K map. So that's going to be a bit excessive. So let's go show toolkit. Ew. Ah, thank God. And let's go transform in here. Let's do a map size of 248. Texel density of 512 for now. Set. Jesus crikeys. Let's do 20.48. Really? Okay. That's very tiny. Sure, we can always make it a little bit bigger later. That's very tiny. Alright, cool. Let's worry about this part later. Cool. Let's do this one next. This one here, easy. PC cylinder. Like, we don't need to discuss too much about this. Let's look at the squares. Cool. Whenever we do something like this, after we finish, we're gonna do unfold using a direction. Maybe this one there, that works for me, and then this one, perfect. So that's to minimize distortion, but that's gonna keep it as straight as possible. Man, that's so tiny. I'm gonna grab this whole thing, go delete history, frames transforms. Don't know why. Okay. Cool. It's like, it's really small. Alright, cool. I'm gonna move on. For the UVs here, this is easy peasy. I would go from here to here. Why? Why aren't you letting me? So weird that it doesn't go around the clock. Okay. No, no, no. You know what? I've decided this needs to go. I don't want this anymore. This shift drag is danger zone. I've got more problems than solutions. I love that stuff, but sometimes I will select things by accident and then it will just explode and die, and no, it's not worth it. That's so weird. Oh, so now that's fine. Alright. I feel like an amateur today. Earlier at work, I was so crazy good, and then losing my mojo. So I'm just gonna go automatic. Got those two pieces. Let's go. Automatic is better. Ah, what? So I'm not going crazy. I thought I cleaned those earlier. Is when I do the mirror and I mirror across, but that's when it happens. So let's do unfold. Unfold. You know what? Before I do those, I'm just gonna do unfold. Following those from here to there, and then from here to there, just around the outside. Cool. And so the inside is gonna maintain the shape, and it's not gonna lose the, you know, the textile density, like, because we would want those to be as nice as possible. Let's now grab those and go set to, again, I can't believe, doesn't matter for now. Let's move those. Cool. We can go from here to here. Why? This is so annoying. Okay, cool. We got those selected. We can go plan it from the top. Okay, keep aspect ratio. We can go unfold from whatever. Cool. And now we need to do everything but this. And we can do now unfold from. We can do, wow, let's not do that one. Cool. Yeah. All right, let's do this guy's here. Ideally, if I was doing this UVs again, I would have cut everything in the middle, and I would have done the UVs on one side, and then I would have done whatever. But I think I started, and I'm already in the flow a little bit, so might as well just continue. Just gonna go automatic with this. Ah, that's actually way worse than I thought. So let's just go create. Not camera base. I'm just gonna do planner on the Z axis. Apply. And then I'm just gonna go UVs. I'm just gonna go unfold. Ew. Me not liking. Let's go flip pill and then go unfold in this direction and then unfold in that direction. Yeah, that works for me. Nice and straight. Okay, let's do this, guys. I'm gonna do a very similar effect. I'm just gonna go create. And this. For this one here, I'm just gonna flip it and go unfold like this. cool. So now it's gonna look weird, but yeah, it's gonna have... If you want, we can have the jewel spot to be separate. So then that border is not gonna be too obvious. So if I go cut, now the jewels can be separate. And it's gonna be a little bit easier to select what's jewel or not jewel. We can do it that way. I think that's gonna work. Oh my god, that's so tiny. Alright, cool. We got the jewels there. We got those guys. Very tiny. I think I'm gonna make this a lot more high resolution. There's something wrong with the settings. I don't know what I've done. So we got this, we got this, we got this, we got this, wherever that might be. I think we need to just do the blade. And for this, I'm just gonna go create automatic again. Automatic, doing UVs with automatic, I am super against it. I would always be like, no, don't do it that way. That's really bad. And then now I'm like, you are stupid if you don't do it automatic. It's so good. Automatic is amazing. What are you doing? And don't know why I would say that. I just noticed something. With these guys here, they might need to be triangulated. I just thought I saw an end gun there somewhere. No, there's no end guns. No, what's that then? It's an end gun, isn't it? Yeah, that's an end gun, dude. I'm pretty sure about it. Am I crazy? Yeah. But I hate that. Don't want that. Okay, so I'm just gonna go multi-cut to here. And then to there, press enter. Then from here to there. And then to here, press enter. And I'm gonna make sure that this guy's here is actually at the same side height as this, and this guy as well. And now I'm pretty sure that's no end guns anymore. Cool, unfold, unfold. There's one thing I think it's gonna get the normals a little bit better when I do the bake is to select this guy that goes around and just give it one tiny thing with just one segment. And I think that's gonna grab a little bit better than normals when it does the baking. And now we need to redo the automatic. But yeah, again, oh no! Let's just grab that one and just do planner. Do planner again. Cool. And let's grab this and this and do an unfold. Okay, that looks like it's okay. Alright, I'm very excited to finally finish the UVs of this and bake it. I want to see what it looks like with everything else. Cool. So now this is the time that we're going to do the layout with all the UVs to put all the UVs together. So we can just go, gonna grab those in here. I want to make things as sensible as possible. Sensible as possible. So I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna make this as big as possible. These are the blade parts. And then I'm gonna see if I can fit everything else as close as possible to get some really nice bakes. So now if I select this and I go get, so that's the number there, it's 86. So let's go now and press, let's make it a little bit bigger and then press set. Cool. So that's for the pommel. Yeah, so I got a feeling that not everything is gonna fit at this resolution. So let's, and this part of the pommel here, let's fit it in here. Let's try to fit as much as possible everything else. So let's go set. Yeah, it's gonna be, yeah, at this resolution it's gonna be hard to fit everything, I reckon. Yeah, no, it's not gonna fit. Okay, so let's try to make sure that we grab this and this, guys, and try to fit it as much as possible as this. And I think at this resolution, it's gonna be a lot easier to work. Cool, so let's get this instead. So that's 65, and let's try to work with this. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a lot more doable. Ah, it doesn't fit, damn it. Oh. Huh, interesting. I, so that's the jewels there. I'm not a huge fan of not being able to put anything in those spaces. I'm also not a big fan of one of these being... Yeah. So this part here, this is where I might need to move some things around. Put this here. This making UVs is my favorite thing to do, but doing the layout, I hate it. I hate doing the layout. And there's software that they will do this kind of stuff for you really nicely, and will do a very good job. But you see now I'm running out of space. And now I might need to make this a little bit, everything a bit smaller, and then see how I can fit things around. It's a little bit like Tetris, but more annoying. And you want things to not be super, like you want some pixels of separation with some of these elements. But not too much. Cool, let's go like that. We got the Le Pommel. Oh, we don't want that. Okay, I guess we need to move this here somewhere. I like to keep things together as possible for legibility, but sometimes it's hard. Okay, that fits in there. Beautiful. Let's try to put this. Oh, we can fit it in here. Perfect. Let's put this here. And this here. Cool. Oh, all right. So now I'm gonna show a really cool technique. I'm gonna risk putting the pommel a little bit smaller just to sacrifice everything else so then it fits. I'm gonna move the pivot point of my selection here in the corner to the vertex. Gonna move that to the point here. I will move this a little bit like that, and then I'm gonna move this to the grid there. And this is where now from that point I'm gonna scale. I'm gonna scale it from here to go as much as possible. So I think that's good. And this is where now I need to move a few things around to fit the other things around. And I am well aware I don't want to spend too much time doing this. I'm just gonna relax those a little bit like that. Because I still need to do baking and I might just finish with the baking. Because otherwise I'm gonna be doing this until the end of the night. I could always save this and do a part 2 where I am doing the actual texturing. But this part here is the part that I'm like, the pommel here, we need to make it a bit bigger again, because otherwise the textual density is gonna be a little bit meh. Cool. So we're done the UVs of this. Let's do the baking and call it a night. I haven't saved it yet, so let's do a secondary effect. Save scene as number 2. Oops. That's what happens, you get carried away. Cool, so we got the low poly there. Let's delete the history, freeze transforms. I got the transforms of one of these guys. It's got animations. Why do I have animation in this? Delete keys. Delete history. Okay, that's letting me. So I'm gonna select these guys here. I'm so excited. I can't wait to the bake. I hope this works fine with the bake. Let's go file. Export selection. Let's put this inside of assets because I'm lazy. Gonna call this FBX. I'm gonna call here Kohiri. Kohiri. Sword. Low. The other thing I forgot to do is make everything into the same material. I'm gonna go favorite material. Gonna do a fong. Call this matte underscore Kohiri. Sword. Cool. So everything has got the same material. Now, this is for the low. Right. I'm gonna hide this. Now for the high. Oh man, those UVs look ugly. Is there a way that we can remove that for a second? For the high poly, it would be a good idea to do some material IDs with some stuff. So then I could do color selections really quickly. I'm gonna do it with stuff like this. I'm gonna say, okay, anything that's metal is gonna be blue. So I'm gonna go with color maps, anything that's metal, let's do that could be design blue, apply color. This I'm gonna do a bit of a cheating here. I'm just gonna select this, gonna detach it. Nobody cares because it's gonna be like whatever. So anything leather can be, let's do yellow, apply. Cool. Oh, why is this green? Sure. Cool story, bro. So I'm gonna do this is gonna be wood, anything red is gonna be wood, apply. Gonna go the same for this guy, apply. I guess this is wood as well. Ooh, apply. Cool. So then when I select the colors, it's going to be like click, 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 click. I'm not going to even think about it. This guy here, just gonna go detach. It doesn't matter because when it bakes, it's not gonna know the difference between. I'm only doing the detach here. So then I can just go, oh, what? But why didn't you work with your detach? So now if I double click here, I go color. So the jewel, ironically, it's not red anymore. Let's do green, apply. What? And gold, well, I'll use yellow, right? So let's make gold purple. Anything gold is purple. Apply. And this guy here, just to make sure, I'm gonna make that apply green. Cool. Anything gold is purple. Apply. Cool. And that's gonna make my life so lazy when I just go, cool, we got the different colors. We got this for the metal, gold is purple, green is the jewel. This, whatever this is gonna be the leather. Cool. And we can start doing some materials. So just go hiya. Select those guys. Go file. I just realized one thing. The way that I named this is gonna work okay for marmoset number 4, which I was gonna use. But you guys don't have marmoset anymore. So let's combine this together. Combine. And let's delete the history. This transforms and then change the high there. What? Let me change the name. Oh, that was confusing. Spot selection. Call this height. I'm so excited. Can't wait to see what the bakes look like. Mind me asking, how long do you take to master Blender? This is not Blender, this is Maya. But nice question. We don't have holidays here. Holiday, what's that? Huh, you're so cute. You're very funny. Holidays. Huh. 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 Nah, I don't know. I've used Blender a few times. I even spent a lot of money on scripts for Blender, and just I don't know. I'm just so good and fast, and like I'm so good and fast in this software. Why would I use anything else? Man, this is the low poly without bakes. It looks so good already. It's almost like unnecessary to do this with low poly, to be honest. It doesn't need it. But here we are. We'll go like croissant. With the croissant, we got this high poly. Hiya. Open. So now we got that guy there. let's make this a little bit less. We make this more packed. Oh no, that's not gonna work. Ah man, doing bigs in this software sucks. Okay, cool. Let's do match mesh name, anti-aliasing, crazy. Let's do no. I think that one thing we need to make sure is the ID. Instead of material color, we use vertex color. Hopefully that works. Don't think I'm missing anything else. Let's do some bakes. Let's go back to painting mode, and there we have it. Ooh! With like some really nice bakes. I might call it a night because I wouldn't mind playing some Crimson Desert. Crimson Desert is freaking cool. That's done some really nice bakes. Everything looks really crispy. You can see here the bolts. It's baked nicely. And I can't believe that, you know, this is only 3,000 triangles. And I've done this in 1 hour, I think. 1 hour and 20 minutes. Cool. High to low poly, 1 hour with bakes and UVs. Look at this. Aha. Giggity diggity daggity do. I'm gonna call it, and hopefully this gets saved properly in the server. This was a lot of fun. And I can't wait to, I think I just need a breather. I can't wait to give this some nice colors and make it pretty. Yeah, it's really cool. How I've done this works really nicely. I'm gonna save this, and yeah, I'm gonna do some nice texturing tomorrow. Gonna make it kind of look like this, but I think I need to spice it up. This looks a little bit boring. But if there's any other weapons of any other famous video game universes that's not too hard to do, something that I can push in 1 or 2 hours, as other examples, let me know, so we can have some fun. Okay, I'll see you guys around, and have fun.